Well, we go part 2, picking up Owen's bike from Murrumba in Queensland. Well, after a bit of foolishness, mucking around first thing in the morning, and was off into town to get my new tyre put on that I got. I managed to find somewhere that could fit it, so that was good. We got it all fitted. Then we all got together at the local Macca's and Servo to say our goodbyes, and Marty had to say goodbye to his bike, and Owen just couldn't wait to get out of there and ride it. But yeah, they made good friends, and then we were off, heading south. 2,400 kilometres home. We had 4 days to do it, so we weren't in too much of a rush. Straight into the livestock as usual. There's so much of it everywhere, all through the middle of Australia, on the east coast anyway, where I've been riding the last couple of years. It's taken me a little while to get this video done. I've been out of action for a few weeks, or a couple of months really. Haven't been too well, but anyway, I'm back on top of it now, so it's a bit slow, but we're getting there. What we got south of Emerald, we spotted a big bushfire. Well, not too sure whether it was a wildfire or a burn off. You can see it over on the right there. Yeah, it's something you always got to watch out for in Australia, especially in the summer and the heat. These fires can flare up so easily and become so fast, especially if there was a bit of wind that day too, so the wind can just drive at hundreds of kilometres. So always pays to check. I've got the Fire Ready app on my phone. It gives you all the emergency stuff like that. So you just keep an eye out, ask the locals. The old roads get a bit rough going into Rolleston. A lot of trucks using them, and it's a bit of a climb out there too. So Owen's still looking at his bike. I've been riding half a day, still couldn't take his eyes off it. He's pretty happy. So after Rolleston, yep, more livestock on the road. By this stage the bikes are getting dirty, and the bugs on the camera again. But just got to take your time, try not to slip over on a cow patty. And at least these ones are they were all grouped together, not like going through the central tablelands where it's open grazing and you never know when you're going to run into one. So that was about the last of them for the trip anyway, so we got through that. It was pretty plain sailing. But then we're back through the central tablelands. It was starting to cool down late in the afternoon. The further south it just got cooler and cooler, so we ended up having to stop and rug up and decide what we were going to do. We were trying to get to Roma, but we were running out of daylight real fast, so we'll just take it town by town at that stage. But we had a problem with one of Owen's panniers on his bike. We got to Injune, it's about 80k short of Roma where we wanted to be, and the sun was going down, and one of his panniers come off and ended up stuck underneath the car, and we had to lift it off. And we went back the next morning and picked up all the pieces of the pannier, everything we could find, and we just taped it back together and strapped it on as best we could to get it home. But that was a bit unfortunate. Then we was down through St George. It was a really nice day, the second day. It always pays to stay, like I always say this, not too close behind other vehicles, because you don't know what they're going to flick up, you don't know what they're going to drive over. You're not going to see, ruts in the road, heaps of roadkill on this stretch of the road, just north of Hebel. So we had to take it real careful too, like big bump there, I wouldn't have seen that if I'd have just stay in their rear vision mirrors. They can see you and you can see what's coming out underneath them. Even when you're passing them, you got to be careful, on roads like these where there's just a lot of wildlife, especially dead wildlife. You pass the cars, you can flick out the pass van like this and had a big bit of roadkill. Or even when you're coming back in, there's one just here, I just missed it, so I timed it pretty right. There wasn't anything when I passed that bus, but you really got to just give everybody plenty of room, But we got the Hebel pub. It was a pretty cool little pub. That one's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So stopped there for a beer and planned our next step. And Had a little bit of a wander around. It's got a great little place with a heap of character. Them hard case locals there as well. But we thought we'd pushed it the first day, trying to get to Roma, and hadn't made it, and we'd ridden till the sun went down, which is not a good idea. So we thought we'll take it a little bit easier today, and we knew that Lightning Ridge was only about an hour up the road, and that was only about 3:34 in the afternoon. So we headed for Lightning Ridge and booked in there, local caravan park for the night. Pretty entertaining. We're sitting in the restaurant, and the big kangaroo comes walking right through the restaurant and out the other side. It was pretty hard case. This is the rubbish on the front of my bike. I've had problems with this. I've burst an oil seal with dried out bugs and stuff. I've just hit the brakes too hard. It's gone down and just pinched an oil seal. The roadkill and stuff on the bottom of my bike was pretty filthy. I'd already done about over 3,000 kilometres. I bumped into some of the local roos on my morning walk about 5:30 in the morning. It was a pretty hard case. A family of them out there checking the place out. It had a little bit of rain there. There was puddles everywhere. The roos were loving it. They weren't loving me much though. Couldn't get too close. But then we were off. There's a big structure out on the main road from Lightning Ridge, made out of VW parts and whatnot. It's on the roads south of Lightning Ridge are pretty rough. Some of the worst I've ever been on, actually, especially south of Walgett. It's about 120 kilometres stretch of road that I just couldn't do it at one lot. I had to stop halfway through and take a break. It was just bashing you around everywhere, really hard on your body and really hard on your bike as well. And we're not speeding, but you can see the camera. The camera's on my helmet. That's my head going bang, bang, bang. It's pretty rough. But we had a good day that day. Got all the way down through Dubbo and got as far as West Wyalong. So and that's where we stopped for the third night. And it was I don't know, we were getting acclimatised to the nice weather. We've been riding the nice weather I had anyway for almost a week. So I started to feel it when the closer I got to home, the colder it got. So by the time we got to West Wyalong, it was pretty much pizza, a couple of beers, and bed. It's a nice cheap motel. I think it was only about $60 or something. Some pretty cheap ones around if you look for them. Next morning we had a nice big breakfast. When it was our last day, we were on the home run. Stopped at Cowra on the border, the Victorian border, for a bit of a break. Then we ran into some major fog going through Shepparton. It was a bit unusual because it was the middle of the day as well. But they tell me there was a big lake off to the right somewhere and it was coming off. I thought it was smoke from a fire because it was brown until you got right into it. In the distance, it looked like a big fire, but it wasn't. It was the fog. So but it was pretty intense. The visibility was pretty low on some of it. You couldn't see cars coming until they were right on you. The different things you come across in Australia, you can travel such big distances. Travel 2,000 or 3,000 kilometres and you just see the scenery, everything, the conditions, they just change so much. It makes it quite exciting for me anyway. I really enjoy it. Going from state to state and just the difference in the weather, the difference in the roads, difference in the people too. All the different states, the people are a little bit different. They got their different colloquial sayings and different beers, different food they like. It's just such a great place. We ended up back at Donnybrook at the Calcalay pub. That's usually where we stop and start things when we're travelling. Before Ryan goes off to his way and I go off to my way. And we were home.